What's going on, Browns fans? Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. We've got a mailbag video here just to ease your way into Easter weekend. You know, if you're seeing some family and maybe someone's like, hey, you put on a little bit of weight, just ignore them. Don't worry. Have some bread and cheese. Join me in today's video. So, first question coming in. Gonna have a cold one with it. Random stranger, cheers to you. Do you think a trade back in the first round is possible? It is possible. I think Cleveland could, for example, take their 44th overall pick and their 78th overall pick, and maybe that gets them to spot 32. It's very close. There's like a trade value calculator where it awards points to the picks you have, and if you combine 44 and 78, the calculator has you right on the line of round one. Now, maybe if they tossed in, another pick, that should push them over. But I kind of like the idea of trading back, and not back like into round one, but like closer to round three than round one. And even though I just talked about my last video, talking about trading into round number one, how about get some more picks? Like if someone wants to call and say, hey, Cleveland, we'll give you. If you want to move from 44 to 50, you want to move back 6 spots, and we'll give you a 2023 third-round pick. Yeah, I would do that. Cleveland right now, this is what their picks look like for next year. 6 picks altogether. They don't have a first. They've got a second, 1/3, a fourth, fifth, and sixth, and seventh. So if they lost a first to Houston, and they lost a third to Houston. So if they want to pick up another third-round pick for moving back, say 10 spots or something like that, I would be actually very open to that, to get some extra draft capital, because you got to be thinking more than just 1 year at a time. You got to be thinking ahead a little bit, and that would be something I would be very open to doing. So let me ask this question: Would you rather trade up or down in the draft? If I say up, I mean closer to round one. Wait, so, and I'm getting myself twisted. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that trade of thought. Trade up, get closer to round one. Trade down, closer to round three. Right, Cleveland's right in the middle of the second round. What direction? Up for round one, down for round three. Let's move on to the next question. Chris Hartman. Chris, appreciate you, buddy. Loyal subscriber to the show. In your show yesterday, Wednesday, great little segment right there. You talked about the Browns trading for Deebo Samuel. Would you rather have Deebo or DK if a trade was pulled off? What is the plan for Felton? I thought he would be a return specialist, but they signed Grant. Any ideas? Love the show and look forward to daily and to see what news you have. Appreciate the nice words there, Chris. Let me tackle the first part of that question. Deebo versus DK. Both are Madden trade ideas. It would be super fun, but the Browns don't have much. I mean, both of these players would yield a first. Something Cleveland does not have until 2025. Something neither of these teams want. A 2025 first-round pick. So, unless for whatever reason, here's the thing. If Seattle and San Francisco were actually serious in trading one of these players, the Jets would call and say, we'll give you our 10th overall pick. And the Browns could not top that. If I had to pick one, I don't know. We'll get back to that in a second. But let me ask you the second question you had there about what's the plan with Demetric Felton. That's a great question, because Jakeem Grant definitely came in for special teams. That's what he's done his whole career. He was a Pro Bowl special teamer for the Chicago Bears last year after being traded from Miami. I think what they're trying to do is just get more competition into camp, right? Raise the bar a little bit. And it's not like they were just going to hand the return duties to Demetric Felton without having a battle for it. So let the best guy win. I think that's what Barry was approaching right there. But pick a wide receiver. I don't think either trade is likely. I don't think. Very, very, very low chance. But we were also told the Browns were out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, so don't put it past Barry. If you had to pick one, though, who would you rather have, Metcalf or Deebo Samuel? Let me know. Put their jersey number down below. Dr. Crew with our next question. Kevin Stefanski said that he fully expects Deshaun to play immediately. Is there a chance of Watson not getting suspended? Also in the draft, what if we pick up that punter in the 4th round? One, at least we got like a 2-piecer. I don't really remember Kevin Stefanski, and maybe I've had a couple too many Bud Lattes, but saying he fully expects. I remember he was talking about that at the in Palm Beach with the NFL owners meeting and whatnot. But if the investigation goes into week 1, It'll be interesting because Goodell did say they're not going to place someone on the commissioner's list who does not have criminal charges against them, which those were not, put through by the grand jury. And if it's civil suits that are being investigated into the season, then the NFL said, we're not going to suspend someone for that. What was interesting was last year when he was in Houston, remember, he didn't want to play. So the NFL never had to do anything. He wasn't going to play. The Texans weren't going to play him. So the NFL was like, fine, you're not making us make a decision. We'll let you guys bench him on your own before we have to intervene. Won't be the same this year. So I'm very curious to see what the NFL's approach is if the investigation goes all the way into week 1. Will they let him play while it's going on, or will they suspend him? I don't know. Second part of your question. Yes, that punter you're talking about, I think I deserve 1% of his contract because I talked about him, I think, starting in January. And I said, this is a player to watch for. Now, everyone's catching up. I mean, I wasn't the first on the Oregon Trail, but I was way ahead of everyone else. Like, when they were all in, Chicago, I was in Kansas. I was further down the line, okay? So, Matt Araiza, the punter out of San Diego State, I signed the Corey Bohorquez from Green Bay. I don't give a shit about him. No, get me Matt Araiza. I want the punter from San Diego State. I also would love for you to join the channel if you haven't already. We crossed 7,000 subscribers a little while ago. We're marching towards 8K. I want to reach that by the NFL draft. So if you're looking for a fun place to get your Browns news and rumors, this is the spot for you. Hit that big red button and subscribe. Billy Riley, wouldn't it be surprising to see Baker reuniting with Kliff? I talked about this in my last video. Murray plans on sitting out due to not receiving a new contract, and his agent pulled their original offer weeks ago. The two have supposedly made amends a while back, with Kliff admitting he was the one at fault and whatnot. With the way Baker has been as of late, it could be. I say it could be possible. How many options does he have? Well, he has no options. It's not his decision. He doesn't have a no trade clause. Okay, so it's not up to him of where he goes. But Baker Mayfield and Kliff Kingsbury reuniting like the days in Lubbock. I whipped this up, a little Step Brothers action. Remember, Baker went to Texas Tech first, did not get a scholarship, walked on, played pretty well. I think they wanted to roll with, what was the quarterback's name that came after him? Oh, something Pat. I'll think of it later. He had decent, will start in the NFL, I think. But maybe if Kyler Murray does get traded, because the Cardinals go, you know what, you've been a diva, and we don't like your leadership, which has been kind of rumored. We'll trade you to Philadelphia. We'll trade you to the Giants. Both those teams have numerous first-round picks. And then all of a sudden, Kliff Kingsbury goes, yeah, I've made up with Baker. Bring him to the desert. It's my best option. That would be something to see, no doubt about it. Patrick Mahomes, that's the guy. Wonder what he's doing these days. Nestor Gomez, do whatever it takes. Get George Pickens. Nestor, thanks so much for the comment. I agree. I like George Pickens a lot, and I've gone wishy-washy on second-round receivers. But Pickens could be wait a minute, he fell to round 2, right? You know when you look back at previous draft classes, and you're like, how did this guy fall so far? That may be George Pickens. He tore his ACL in spring camp last year, a year ago right about now, at Georgia. Missed most of the 2021 season, but he's an awesome athlete. He's got the lowest drop percentage in college football over the last 2 or 3 years. He may be a true star. If he didn't get hurt last year, he could be the top wide receiver in this draft class. But because there's not much tape out on him there, maybe he slips into round 2. Remember DK Metcalf? He had a neck injury senior year of college last year at Ole Miss, and he slipped in the draft process because of it. And players like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who were picked in front of him. What if that's George Pickens? I like what your train of thought is right there. Final question, I think. Browns fan 55. Oh, we got one more. So far, what do you think the Browns' record will be? Take a quick sip. One, it comes down to Deshaun Watson being suspended. If he is suspended. Now, if Deshaun Watson misses 4 games, I think Jacoby Brissett can go 2-2. And I think if 2-2 gets you, 10-7. Here's the thing. is, I know this really isn't the question, but the AFC is loaded, right? There are 16 teams in the AFC. You have 4 legitimate playoff contenders in the West. Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. All 4 of those teams could easily make the playoffs this year. Then in the South, you've got 2 teams in the Colts and the Titans. The Jags and the Texans suck. AFC East, legitimate teams in the Dolphins, Bills, and Patriots. I'm at 9 right now. And then you look at the AFC North. Toss in the Browns, toss in the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers. We're at 13. All 13 teams are very legitimate playoff teams. So what do I think the Browns' record will be? If we have any sort of Watson suspension for 4 to 6 games, 10-win season. If he plays all 17 games, I'm thinking 13-4. I think that's about right. The AFC is going to be tough, though. So maybe in his first year, it's more like 12-5. I think that's about fair. Probably not gassing myself up at all. Let's get on to our final question and get you guys on your way. Robert Bowen, what do you think about bringing Joe Hayden back on a 1 or 2 year contract? He's still really good. If the Browns are going to go and win a Super Bowl, he should be on the Browns. I do like the final part of your segment, right? Your note right there. If the Browns are going to win a Super Bowl, I'd love to see Joe Hayden. It was kind of sad to see him go to Pittsburgh. It was a mistake in hindsight, looking back. Last year for the Steel City, kind of a down year, right? He's getting up in the age column, though. He's been around for closing on a decade. Can you believe that? If it's cheap, yeah, why not? I would be fine with that, especially with Denzel Ward not having that contract extension yet. It just makes in the back of your head go, what's his future like? Why haven't we gotten this done? But Greedy Williams, Greg Newsome, want to toss Joe Hayden in there? It's kind of a crowded room with Troy Hill, too. A.J. Green's kind of a nice flex, hybrid safety corner. But I like the bring him back for a Super Bowl run. He was great for the Browns to start his career and then went to the dark side. All right, that's going to do it for us here on today's show. We'll catch up with you later with more Browns news and rumors. Enjoy your Easter weekend, Passover weekend, whatever you're up to. Cheers to you, and we'll catch you later.